Hillary, your cousin Will is here.
Hi. Dad, I need $300.
I felt like you hated me.
How would you feel if one day, while working hard, you were suddenly dragged out and fired without any justifiable reason, only to be given absurd explanations? The frustration, confusion, and countless questions about why you lost your job would surely leave you unable to accept it. The black actors I'm about to talk about in today's video have experienced just that. They did nothing wrong, yet they were unfairly treated because of their skin color, cast aside while at the peak of their careers. Some were removed due to misguided statements, while others were replaced because of trivial workplace conflicts. But is this just a matter of personal stories, or does it serve as clear evidence of underlying biases in the heart of Hollywood? Let's uncover the dark secrets behind these controversial dismissals in Hollywood, where talent isn't judged solely by acting ability, but is also influenced by hidden agendas and deep-rooted prejudices. 1. Janet Hubert, the Fresh Prince, Queen, and 3 decades of injustice. Janet Hubert is one of the most prominent faces in American television. She elevated the role of Vivian Banks in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to new heights, portraying a sophisticated, strong, and powerful black woman. After its first 3 seasons, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air quickly gained a large audience and became one of NBC's most beloved shows at the time. Naturally, Janet Hubert was among the actors who greatly benefited from the show's success, with her name soaring to new heights. However, just as her career was on the rise, she found herself clashing with someone she should have avoided confronting at that point in time: the show's lead actor and producer, Will Smith. One summer morning in 1993, the final meeting of the 3rd season of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air took place in a heavy, tense atmosphere. Janet Hubert sat there in silence, her eyes gazing into the distance, her hands clenched tightly, her mood clearly anything but peaceful. Meanwhile, Will Smith, the man she once considered a colleague, sat laughing and chatting cheerfully with the other crew members. No one suspected that at that very moment a decision would be made that would change everything forever. When the producer announced that Janet Hubert would not be returning for the next season of the show, the room froze. There were looks of astonishment and confusion, but no one dared to speak. Janet stood up, her eyes blazing with anger, as if she had just suffered an unexpected, cruel blow. She looked directly at Will Smith, her voice broken but powerful. "I poured my heart and soul into this role, and this is how you repay me?" And then, Will Smith, with an unchanging expression, coldly replied, "You always wanted everything to revolve around Aunt Viv. This show has no room for ego." Those words were like knives cutting deep into her heart, each word twisting into the heart she had poured all her dedication into for the past 3 seasons. Janet couldn't say anything more. She walked out of that room, her heart as heavy as if crushed under a massive rock. Her eyes couldn't hide the tears, but instead of letting them fall, she brushed them away, determined not to show her weakness. She knew that with this decision, it wasn't just a role being taken away, but perhaps an unpredictable setback in her career. But Janet Hubert did not let this incident hold her back. She continued to advance her acting career, taking on roles in various films and theatrical productions. At the same time, she became a powerful voice advocating for social issues and fairness within the entertainment industry, particularly in addressing how black actors are treated by producers. Janet Hubert's story is not just that of a talented actress, but also a testament to resilience and inner strength in the face of the harsh realities of show business. Despite being replaced and confronting unexpected challenges, she remained steadfast in her belief in herself, becoming a source of inspiration for those navigating difficulties in their careers. 2. Terrence Howard, the unjust ostracization of Iron Man's best friend. Terrence Howard is a talented and charismatic actor who has captivated audiences with his impressive performances, most notably as James "Rhodey" Rhodes in the Iron Man franchise, a role that cemented him as a symbol of the superhero genre. When Iron Man premiered, Howard won over fans with his portrayal, bringing to life a strong and loyal character who shared a close bond with Tony Stark. However, as Marvel Studios began expanding its cinematic universe and evolving into a massive entertainment empire, Terrence Howard received heartbreaking news. He would no longer be part of Iron Man 2. Instead, Don Cheadle was chosen to replace him and continue the role of Rhodey. In October 2008, the meeting with Marvel at their Burbank offices took place in a somber atmosphere, as if a storm was about to break. Terrence Howard entered the room with his usual confidence, but the cold stares of the executives gave him pause. They informed him that his salary for the role of Colonel Rhodes in the second Iron Man film would be significantly cut. Howard remained silent, trying to maintain his composure as the reasons were given. The budget needed to be focused on special effects. The Marvel brand needed to be elevated. He sat there, each word like a hammer blow to his rising career. At the end of the meeting, Howard stood up, his gaze inadvertently meeting Robert Downey Jr.'s, who was quietly observing from a corner of the room. For a brief moment, he hoped to find some empathy, but Downey simply sighed and then turned away. As the meeting room doors closed behind him, Howard walked out, his heart heavy. He knew full well that, from that moment on, the Marvel door had closed on him, and the superhero world he had once dreamed of conquering was now just a memory. Clearly, being removed from a blockbuster franchise and feeling abandoned by someone he once helped left Terrence Howard deeply hurt. Nevertheless, he rose above the setback and continued to achieve success with other projects, most notably his role as Lucius Lyon in Empire, a series that solidified his standing in the entertainment industry. Howard's story serves as a vivid testament to the challenges and pressures actors face in the unforgiving world of Hollywood. 3. Gabrielle Union, a resilient warrior unjustly treated. With her sharp beauty, captivating presence, and versatile acting skills, Gabrielle Union has become a symbol of confidence in the film industry. Her breakthrough role in the classic teen movie Bring It On not only elevated her career, but also showcased the image of a strong, intelligent, and resilient cheerleader. However, Gabrielle Union's career has not always been smooth sailing. One of the most shocking moments came when she was removed from her position as a judge on the popular show America's Got Talent after its 14th season. In November 2019, the final taping of America's Got Talent wrapped up under the dim lights of the studio sets. Gabrielle Union walked out, her shoulders slightly slumped, her face reflecting weariness and concern. Just a few weeks prior, she had bravely spoken out about Jay Leno's racially insensitive joke. Instead of receiving empathy, she was met with cold smiles and the familiar response, "Don't be so sensitive." Not only that, but every time she appeared with her natural hairstyle, an assistant would approach her, reminding her that the look didn't align with mainstream audience tastes. These words, though softly spoken, were like knives piercing her self-esteem. Gabrielle understood that, in their eyes, she was a misfit within the standards the show wanted to project. When the announcement from the producers came that she wouldn't be returning for the next season, Gabrielle wasn't surprised, but a lingering disappointment remained on the face of this resilient woman. Despite facing pressure from both the public and producers, Gabrielle Union remained undeterred. She continued to advance her career with standout performances in films like Bad Boys 2 and the television series Being Mary Jane, where she powerfully portrayed the image of a strong, modern woman. At the same time, she has become an active advocate, speaking out on issues such as black rights, feminism, and the importance of diversity in the film industry. 4. Monique, the rebellious queen who fell into darkness. Monique is an irreplaceable icon in the American entertainment industry. With her ability to make audiences laugh and captivate them with her comedic roles, she quickly became one of the most beloved female comedians. However, Monique proved that her talent went far beyond comedy. Her heartbreaking performance in Precious earned her the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, a dazzling achievement coveted by any artist. Yet behind that Oscar statue lies a story of controversy, where Monique boldly stood up against Hollywood's hidden power structures. During a closed-door meeting in February 2010, a tense atmosphere hung over the conference room at a high-end hotel in Los Angeles. Lee Daniels, the director of Precious, sat at the head of the table, his face showing clear disappointment upon learning that Monique had refused to participate in international promotional events without additional compensation. He stated that Monique's actions had hurt the entire team, the people who had worked day and night to complete the film. All eyes in the room were on her, but Monique remained composed, showing no signs of wavering. Beside Daniels, Oprah Winfrey sat silently, her hand gently touching the teacup in front of her. Although she didn't say much, her presence alone was enough to convey the shared stance of the producers. Tyler Perry, known for his tough demeanor, simply reiterated the view that every member of the team needed to put the film's interests first. But Monique didn't flinch under the pressure. In a long moment of silence, she spoke slowly, asserting that what she was doing wasn't to cause trouble, but to demand fairness. After the meeting, the repercussions of the story quickly spread throughout Hollywood. Monique publicly criticized the injustice she believed had long existed within the industry. She condemned the so-called unwritten rules, where artists had to submit to demands not stipulated in their contracts. But the price for her outspokenness was steep. Within a few months, Monique's name was labeled difficult to work with. Major projects gradually steered clear of her, and the once bright path of her career was now shrouded in dark clouds. For Monique, the Oscar brought no joy. The golden statue seemed to usher in a streak of bad luck, as she found herself virtually blacklisted by Hollywood. She received no substantial roles in the years that followed. Despite her career being suppressed, Monique chose not to remain silent. She boldly spoke out against the injustices and discrimination within the film industry, challenging the power structures that manipulate Hollywood. Though her career suffered greatly, Monique stood firm in her beliefs, asserting that an artist's worth cannot be measured by compromises with authority. Her story serves as a powerful reminder of the cost of honesty and courage in a ruthless industry. Despite facing isolation and damaging rumors, Monique held her ground, proving that true talent does not need to bow to any system of power. To many, she is a hero, not just for her prestigious awards, but for her bravery in standing against injustice and defending her values. 5. Isaiah Washington. Careless words ruined a career. Isaiah Washington, once one of the most prominent faces on American television, captivated audiences with his portrayal of Dr. Preston Burke in the hit series Grey's Anatomy. With the calm demeanor, sharp wit, and inner depth he brought to the character, Isaiah quickly became an indispensable part of the show. However, that aura of stardom vanished overnight when an off-screen remark completely altered his career and reputation. On a chilly October evening in 2006, in the bustling backstage area of the Grey's Anatomy set, the atmosphere suddenly turned tense. Isaiah Washington, in his character's costume, abruptly began arguing loudly with Patrick Dempsey. Their eyes filled with anger, and their exchange became increasingly heated. At the peak of the argument, in a moment of lost control, Isaiah uttered a homophobic slur, directed at T.R. Knight, the young actor standing in a distant corner. Almost immediately, the news spread like wildfire. Newspapers and news websites raced to put the story on their front pages, causing a public uproar. An emergency meeting was held. Isaiah sat in the middle of a small room, facing representatives from ABC along with his colleagues. He sincerely apologized, insisting it was just a mistake in the heat of the moment. But the public outrage showed no signs of subsiding. By June 2007, the official announcement came. Isaiah was fired. From a rising star, he quickly fell into a spiral of isolation, with acting roles becoming increasingly scarce. A career that had once reached its peak now plunged into darkness, leaving behind a painful lesson about the consequences of thoughtless words. However, Isaiah Washington did not let that tragedy define him. He embarked on a journey of redemption and rebuilt his career from the ground up. By participating in independent film projects and using his voice to speak out on social issues, he gradually regained faith in himself. Isaiah also actively engaged in charitable activities and discussions on tolerance, hoping to contribute to healing the wounds he had inadvertently caused. Isaiah Washington's story is a painful reminder of the harshness of the entertainment industry, where one mistake can destroy an entire career. But at the same time, it is also a story of redemption and resilience. Though the wounds in his heart may never fully heal, Isaiah chose to rise again and continue walking, like a man trying to find light in a world that had once turned its back on him. 6. Wesley Snipes, an action star who lost himself on set. Wesley Snipes was once the brightest star of the superhero action genre, with his portrayal of Blade, a half-human, half-vampire hero fighting against the forces of darkness. With his cool demeanor, powerful presence, and impressive fighting style, Snipes transformed Blade into an icon, simultaneously paving the way for the modern superhero film era. However, by the time the third installment of the series, Blade Trinity, arrived, things took a drastically different turn, and the character that was once a source of pride for Wesley Snipes now became a controversial milestone in his career. In the summer of 2004, the atmosphere on the set of Blade Trinity was thick with tension. Wesley Snipes, in his signature black Blade attire, would often silently walk onto the set, his sharp eyes avoiding all contact. The discord between him and director David S. Goyer had been simmering since the early days of production, when Goyer announced his intention to highlight supporting characters in order to expand the Blade universe. Wesley viewed this as a betrayal of the heroic image he had dedicated so much effort to building. One day, instead of arguing, Wesley began sending short, cryptic notes to Goyer. Blade wouldn't do that. Fix this scene. The crew initially thought he was joking, but they gradually realized this was his sole method of communication. Off-set, Wesley secluded himself in his trailer, maintaining distance from everyone. When the film was released in December, expectations plummeted. Blade Trinity was criticized as being superficial with a disjointed plot. Simultaneously, Wesley's career went into freefall, earning him the label difficult to work with, a shadow not easily escaped. But Wesley Snipes didn't let these setbacks break him. He chose to face everything with composure and determination. After a period of absence, Snipes gradually returned with smaller projects, while simultaneously seeking to reassert his position in the film industry. Wesley Snipes' story is a reminder that behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood lie unavoidable pressures and conflicts. But it was in those moments when everything seemed to crumble that Snipes proved that resilience and belief in oneself could help him find his way back to the light. To many fans, he will forever be Blade, an indomitable warrior, both on screen and in life. 7. Orlando Brown, a lost Disney star. Orlando Brown was once a beloved young star for his role as Eddie Thomas in the popular Disney Channel series That's So Raven. With his natural comedic timing and radiant smile, Orlando captured the hearts of young audiences everywhere. He seemed to have it all: talent, fame, and a promising future in the entertainment industry. But as the spotlight faded, Orlando's life began to descend into a spiral of unforeseen crises. When That's So Raven concluded in 2007, Orlando Brown once believed that the spotlight would continue to shine brightly on his path ahead. But reality proved much harsher. Acting offers dwindled, giving way to tabloid headlines about personal scandals, outrageous statements, and brushes with the law. From a promising young talent, Orlando gradually became a name associated with regret. In May 2017, when Disney planned the production of Raven's Home, many hoped Orlando would return as Eddie Thomas. But a fateful Friday afternoon meeting dashed those hopes. Orlando arrived late, looking disheveled, with visible signs of fatigue in his eyes. Throughout the discussion, he was consistently unfocused, making irrelevant remarks and sometimes reacting excessively. A producer gently mentioned his recent legal troubles, but Orlando responded with anger, accusing them of bias and unfairness. At the end of the meeting, the decision was made. Disney would not risk having him involved in the project. It was a moment that marked the end of the career resurgence he once had within reach, leaving fans with a sad tale of faded glory and what could have been. But amidst those dark days, Orlando Brown wasn't entirely lost. He began to realize that he needed to change. With support from family, friends, and support centers, Orlando embarked on a journey of recovery. He participated in rehabilitation programs, underwent therapy, and gradually rediscovered himself. Although the road back was far from easy, Orlando Brown persevered, hoping that one day he could stand before an audience as a complete artist. 8. Raven Simone, the unyielding flame of a child star. Before becoming an icon on the Disney Channel with her role in That's So Raven, Raven Simone faced a significant setback that few people know about. As a talented and eager young girl, Raven was cast in a television show, but after only a few episodes, she was unexpectedly let go. The reason? The producers felt that Raven didn't quite fit the direction of the show. For a child nurturing such big dreams, this was nothing short of a shock. When Raven Simone was very young, she was cast in a prominent sitcom, an opportunity many would dream of. A sense of anticipation and excitement filled her as she worked with seasoned actors for the first time. She eagerly awaited every moment to showcase her talent. However, things didn't go as she had imagined. The producers decided to change the direction of the character, and Raven was cut from the project. The meeting announcing the decision was filled with a suffocating atmosphere, a space thick with disappointment. Raven sat silently, her eyes red-rimmed, while her mother tried to comfort her. Upon leaving the room, Raven looked at her mother and asked in a naive voice, "What did I do wrong?" That question pierced her mother's heart, leaving her speechless. Raven likely thought at that moment that such a big opportunity would never come again. But, as if by magic, that opportunity did come. Just a few years later, Raven was invited to star in That's So Raven, one of the Disney Channel's most successful shows. This time, she wasn't just a supporting actor, she was the heart and soul of the show. The role of Raven Baxter, a smart, funny girl with the ability to see the future, helped Raven Simone demonstrate her exceptional talent and her ability to convey emotions naturally, touching the hearts of millions of viewers. The success of That's So Raven not only propelled Raven's name to new heights, but also opened doors to even greater opportunities. She became a cultural icon, a representative of diversity and self-confidence, especially for young audiences. But what is most admirable about Raven is her unwavering spirit. Despite experiencing a setback, she didn't let it deter her. Instead, she used it to build an inspiring career. 9. John Amos, The Good Times, Father's Departure Amidst Backstage Conflicts. John Amos, with his deep, resonant voice and dignified demeanor, left an indelible mark in his role as James Evans Sr., the strong, resilient father of the family in the sitcom Good Times. The show, a pioneering television production depicting the lives of a black family in a working-class neighborhood, once brought pride and hope to the community. However, after 2 highly successful seasons, John Amos unexpectedly departed from the show, leaving behind disappointment and a multitude of questions from viewers. In 1976, tensions behind the scenes of Good Times reached a boiling point. John Amos, who played James Evans Sr., entered a meeting with the producers with a determined look, ready to confront the heads of the project. He shared his concern that the show was gradually losing its original purpose. Instead of reflecting the lives of a black family, it was now overemphasizing the comedic antics of the character J.J. Evans. "We need to show the resilience of black families," Amos stated, his voice deep and firm, without hesitation. The producers remained silent, exchanging glances, clearly disagreeing with Amos's viewpoint. A few weeks later, Amos received the news that the character James Evans Sr. would be written out of the script. In September 1976, the episode revealing James's death via telegram aired, a shock not only to the characters in the show but also to the audience. John Amos left the set in silence, but despite losing his role, he remained proud of standing up for values that were important to the community, believing his decision was the right one. After leaving Good Times, John Amos's career faced significant challenges. He was no longer sought after as he once was, and major roles seemed to elude him. But during those years, he harbored no regrets. John focused on meaningful projects where he could continue to portray powerful and inspiring images of black men in society. For him, leaving the show wasn't just a personal sacrifice, but also a powerful statement of loyalty to his ideals. 10. Nick Cannon, a talented host and his quest to reclaim his creative baby. Nick Cannon, once dubbed the king of improv comedy thanks to his show Wild 'N Out, built an entertainment empire bearing his personal stamp. Wild 'N Out was not only a playground for young artists, but also a place for Nick to demonstrate his exceptional talent as a creator, host, and sometimes the instigator of hilarious, high-energy moments. But then, everything changed when a controversial statement led to his being fired from the very show he created. In July 2020, Viacom-CBS announced the termination of their relationship with Nick Cannon following controversial statements he made on his podcast. The shock came as Nick was at the peak of his career. At an internal meeting just days after the announcement, executives decided to continue airing Wild 'N Out, but without Nick. In the empty meeting room, Nick faced his legal team. He listened to every analysis about losing control of the show he had been so deeply involved with for years. Though outside, social media was filled with criticism, Nick remained steadfast. He knew that if he gave up, all the efforts and dedication he had poured in over the years would amount to nothing. In February 2021, after negotiations and a public apology, Nick officially regained control of Wild 'N Out, marking his powerful comeback. The fight was not easy, but ultimately, Nick Cannon accomplished what few expected. He convinced Viacom-CBS to bring him back, not only as the host, but also as the owner of the creative rights to Wild 'N Out. It was a victory not just for Nick himself, but also for anyone who has ever had their voice taken away and had to stand up to reclaim what was rightfully theirs. Nick Cannon has proven that sometimes failure is not the end, but the beginning of a greater journey. He returned to Wild 'N Out with a stronger spirit, not only to continue his mission of bringing laughter to audiences, but also to affirm that his dream is inviolable. Nick's story is a reminder that even when pushed into the most difficult moments, perseverance and belief in oneself can help us overcome everything. 11. Columbus Short, Scandal. Stars downward spiral amidst personal turmoil. Columbus Short, once known as one of the most talented actors on the small screen, brought vibrancy and depth to the character Harrison Wright in Scandal. With his sharp gaze and professional demeanor, he became a crucial pillar in Shonda Rhimes' dramatic storyline. But after just 3 seasons, fans were stunned by the announcement that Columbus would no longer appear in the series. The reason? Troubles from his personal life pulled him away from the spotlight. In March 2014, Columbus Short, then playing Harrison Wright on the hit series Scandal, became embroiled in an altercation at a Los Angeles restaurant. Just weeks later, news of his tumultuous marriage was exposed, accompanied by domestic violence allegations from his ex-wife. Everything happened quickly. One morning, when Columbus walked into Shonda Rhimes' office, he knew it would be an unavoidable meeting. For a long time, he had sensed the distant glances, the unspoken words from his colleagues, and the bright lights no longer shining on him. He entered the meeting room, his face filled with fatigue and despair. Shonda Rhimes, with emotionless eyes, coldly announced that the character Harrison Wright would be written out of the script. The entire room fell silent, broken only by Shonda's sigh. "You need time to take care of yourself." After leaving Scandal, Columbus sank deep into crisis. But by early 2016, he decided to start over. Entering therapy and rehab, Columbus gradually rebuilt his career with smaller roles, finding light in the darkness. Step by step, Columbus gradually made his comeback. He appeared in independent film projects, sharing his personal story as a cautionary tale for those struggling with the darkness of life. He didn't hesitate to admit his mistakes, while also affirming that rebirth is never too late. Columbus Short's journey is a story of collapse and revival. Though he no longer stands at the peak as he did during his time on Scandal, he has found peace and new meaning in life. With valuable lessons learned, Columbus not only rebuilt his career, but also inspired those who are fighting to overcome adversity. Once again, he proved that every wound can be healed if we don't give up hope. 12. Cuba Gooding Jr., the Jerry Maguire star who lost his luster due to missteps. Cuba Gooding Jr., one of the most talented actors to ever grace the silver screen, captured audiences' hearts with his emotionally charged performance in Jerry Maguire with the iconic line, "Show me the money," earning him a prestigious Oscar. The combination of his natural charm, masterful acting skills, and boundless energy made Cuba a prominent figure in Hollywood, sought after in numerous major projects. However, his life took a tumultuous turn when personal issues began to surface. In June 2019, Cuba Gooding Jr. walked into a high-end bar in New York City, a smile still gracing his lips. The scene was familiar, like any other evening, as he chatted amiably with a few fans. Everything seemed calm, but his life was about to change forever. Just hours later, police escorted him out of the bar on allegations of groping a woman. The news spread quickly, like a bomb exploding in the entertainment world, shattering the previously peaceful atmosphere. Just a month later, Cuba was at a Hollywood party. He entered with his usual confident demeanor, but as he approached some old friends, they abruptly turned their backs, refusing to engage in conversation. The cold stares and palpable silence left Cuba stunned. In the crowd, a producer whispered to the person next to them, "His reputation is now just a liability." The comment felt like a knife to Cuba's heart, as he realized his career was spiraling downward. One by one, projects and opportunities vanished. Collaboration offers were now just fading memories. Cuba, in his cold and lonely apartment, sat silently, his gaze blankly fixed on the Oscar statuette resting on the table. The once glittering light from the statue now reflected a once brilliant career, now just a series of disappointments. He wondered if there was any chance to fix the mistakes he had made, or if his final efforts would be enough to pull him out of the abyss he had thrown himself into. However, Cuba Gooding Jr. did not let those stumbles define his life. In silence and endurance, he quietly sought ways to move forward, once again proving that talent and perseverance can overcome any challenge. He reappeared on screen in independent films, roles that, though small, were full of depth as a way of reminding the world that he was still there, still an artist dedicated to his craft. Cuba also dedicated time to participating in charitable activities and mentoring young people entering the industry. The painful experiences he had gone through now became lessons he shared, as a message that glory cannot last without humility and responsibility. 13. Megan Good, Nung Thien Than Roy Shuong Ki Jong Bei Kao. Megan Good, a bright face in the popular sitcom My Wife and Kids, captivated audiences with her natural charm and adorable acting. Her role as Vanessa was an icon of humor and vitality. But towards the end of the first season, the atmosphere on set suddenly became heavy. A surprise meeting was called. The producers, after a few brief explanations about a new direction, announced that Megan would not continue playing Vanessa. Despite trying to remain calm, Megan couldn't hide the disappointment in her eyes. However, Megan's career didn't end there. She quickly regained her momentum with a series of impressive roles in major films like Think Like a Man and Shazam, where she shone with her talent and maturity. Her resilience and constant effort helped Megan solidify her name in a challenging industry. 14. Larenz Tate, a talented actor who lost his foothold amidst tough decisions. Larenz Tate, who made a strong impression with his role in Menace II Society, has always been known for his versatile talent and on-screen charisma. However, his career hasn't always been smooth sailing. In 1997, Larenz Tate eagerly embarked on a major film project with a leading role that he believed would mark a significant milestone in his career. The early days on set were filled with energy and anticipation. He immersed himself in the role, receiving praise from the film crew. However, during the third week of filming, Lorenz received a call from the producers. They explained that the project needed a new face more suitable for international marketing strategies. Those vague words couldn't hide the truth. He had been replaced. That evening, Lorenz sat quietly in his apartment, looking at the unfinished script with a heavy heart. He wondered if this was the end. But instead of wallowing in disappointment, Lorenz decided to persevere, turning the pain into motivation to prove his worth with powerful roles later on. Instead of giving up, Lorenz chose to continue proving his worth. He quickly shifted gears, taking on other film projects such as Love Jones and Dead Presidents, where he showcased his depth and versatility in acting. These roles not only captivated audiences, but also solidified his position as an icon in the film industry. 15. Amandla Stenberg, a rising star who missed a golden opportunity. Amandla Stenberg, the promising young star who made a splash with her role as Rue in The Hunger Games, was once in contention for a role in the blockbuster project Black Panther. In 2016, Amandla Stenberg walked into the Black Panther audition room with a hopeful heart. She had prepared thoroughly, immersing herself in every line and demonstrating a keen understanding of the character. The producers nodded in approval, and the news that Amandla had almost secured the role quickly spread throughout the industry. However, a few weeks later, a cold email arrived from Marvel. "Thank you for your participation, but we've decided to go in a different direction." The reason? Amandla was reportedly deemed not suitable for the African cultural representation that the film aimed to portray. Nevertheless, Amandla didn't let this setback hold her back. She quickly proved her talent through films like The Hate You Give and Everything, where she brilliantly embodied emotionally resonant and powerful characters. Instead of viewing the setback as a stopping point, Amandla saw it as an opportunity to redefine herself and affirm that an artist's value doesn't solely reside in big roles. 16. Gary Dourdan, the CSI detective lost in the real world. Gary Dourdan, with his deep gaze and captivating demeanor, became an unforgettable icon in CSI, crime scene investigation, through his portrayal of Warwick Brown. For many years, he breathed life into this character, portraying a complex yet compassionate man, captivating the hearts of millions of viewers. In 2008, Gary Dourdan entered a meeting with the producers of CSI, crime scene investigation, filled with apprehension. After 8 seasons of embodying Warwick Brown, he felt the character had become a part of him. However, the discussion quickly turned tense when the issue of his contract was raised. Gary desired compensation commensurate with his dedication and influence, but the producers wouldn't budge. When the meeting concluded, Gary walked out of the room with a heavy feeling. A week later, the official announcement was made. Warwick Brown would be leaving the series, with the character's sudden death becoming a major shock to fans. This departure not only closed an important chapter in Gary's career, but also placed him in a challenging period. Hollywood isn't always quick to welcome those who stray from the beaten path. However, Gary found ways to keep his passion alive by participating in smaller but high-quality projects, continuing to affirm his talent. Gary Dourdan's career shows us the harsh realities of the entertainment industry, but it also serves as a testament to the legacy an artist can leave behind. Though the spotlight has faded, the image of Warwick Brown lives on in the hearts of viewers as a tribute to Gary's years of dedication. 17. Karen Parsons, the Fresh Prince, princess who passed away before her dreams were realized. Karen Parsons, with her elegant beauty and graceful acting style, captivated audiences with her portrayal of Hilary Banks in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Her character, a wealthy yet naive and humorous young woman, became a memorable highlight of the series, bringing laughter and affection from viewers of all generations. In 1995, as the sitcom Family Matters entered its 6th season, the pressure to maintain the show's success grew increasingly heavy. Behind the scenes, Karen Parsons, who played the intelligent and sharp-witted younger sister, was not immune to the stress. The producers constantly requested last-minute script changes, filming extended late into the night, and at times, conflicts among the crew members created a tense atmosphere. One evening, after completing an emotionally charged scene, Karen sat alone in her dressing room, exhausted but still determined. She understood that, despite all the pressures, this role was an opportunity for her to shine and leave her mark. Karen Parsons is a testament to the professionalism and inner strength of a talented actress. Despite the unseen challenges behind the scenes, she maintained her grace, leaving an irreplaceable mark on audiences. 18. Tichina Arnold, a talented actress who rose from the ashes of failure. Tichina Arnold, who always brings an infectious energy and sharp wit, has proven her talent through numerous sitcom projects. However, not every path is paved with roses. In one promising project, the initial script readings went smoothly, with Tichina even offering ideas to further develop her character. But just weeks before filming, an emergency meeting took place. The producers announced that they had decided to go in a different direction, and that her role would be given to a younger face, deemed more suitable for current audience tastes. Tichina sat in silence in the office, a mix of disappointment and anger washing over her. Are all my years of dedication not enough for them to trust me? She wondered. But instead of letting her emotions consume her, Tichina stood up and began searching for new opportunities. But for Tichina, setbacks were merely stepping stones to greater things. Not long after, she made a powerful comeback in Everybody Hates Chris, delivering a stellar performance as Rochelle, a strong, humorous, and charismatic mother. This role not only reaffirmed Tichina's talent, but also won her the hearts of audiences, solidifying her status as an icon in the sitcom world. 19. Taye Diggs, an unstoppable black star. Taye Diggs, with his suave demeanor and captivating presence, has built a solid career on Broadway and the small screen. However, not every project goes according to plan. In a television series that hadn't even aired, Taye was unexpectedly let go, leaving behind the disappointment of a missed opportunity. For a seasoned actor, being cut from a project is a shock that's not easy to overcome. But Taye didn't let that setback dim his light. He quickly bounced back and reaffirmed his name through the role of Sam Bennett in Private Practice. With nuanced acting and a compelling presence, Taye won the hearts of audiences, confirming that he is not just a star, but an artist always ready to overcome challenges. 20. Jurnee Smollett, a star who doesn't let failure stop her. Jurnee Smollett, a remarkable talent with a radiant smile and expressive eyes, has captivated audiences since she was a child actress in Full House and Eve's Bayou. However, her journey hasn't always been easy. She frequently attended auditions, pouring her heart into each portrayal, only to be met with cold rejections. "Maybe I'm not right for this anymore," Jurnee once confided in her mother during a moment of vulnerability. This period of quiet lasted for nearly 2 years, causing Jurnee to doubt not only her career but also her self-worth. However, instead of giving up, she chose to reconnect with her passion. Jurnee took acting classes, tried her hand at theater, and even worked behind the scenes to learn more. With unwavering determination and burning passion, Jurnee gradually reclaimed her place in the entertainment industry. She made a powerful impact with her role as Letty in Lovecraft Country, where her talent was fully displayed through emotionally charged and psychologically weighty scenes. This role not only earned her critical acclaim, but also helped her become an icon of resilience and style. 21. Sheryl Lee Ralph, an actress with heartbreaking experiences related to her skin color. Sheryl Lee Ralph, a multi-talented artist with a powerful voice and captivating presence, once faced a bitter rejection when she was told she was not black enough for a role. This assessment was not only offensive but also deeply wounded her self-esteem, feeling like a denial of her identity and self-worth. In an industry already rife with prejudice, Sheryl had to confront the pain and find a way to overcome it. Instead of letting those rejections overshadow her career, Sheryl chose to turn them into motivation. She continued to assert her talent through iconic roles in Dreamgirls, and more recently in Abbott Elementary, where she brilliantly portrays a smart, graceful, and compassionate woman. This performance not only earned her well-deserved recognition, but also inspired millions of viewers. 22. Jason Mitchell, the Chai star. Brought down by personal mistakes. Jason Mitchell, once one of Hollywood's most promising talents, captivated audiences with his portrayal of Eazy-E in Straight Outta Compton, and later as Brandon in the hit series The Chai. With his authentic acting and emotional depth, Jason quickly became a rising star, representing a generation of promising young artists. In a tense meeting in May 2019, Jason was summoned to the producer's office after complaints about his inappropriate behavior surfaced. Sitting across from him, the producer with a stern expression declared, "We can no longer work with you." Jason was taken aback, attempting to justify his actions, but the evidence of sexual harassment left him no room for denial. Though he denied any malicious intent, Jason realized the situation was beyond repair. The decision to fire him was announced shortly thereafter, ending a significant role he had once been proud of. As he left the office, Jason felt his entire career crumbling, leaving behind not only his reputation, but also the trust of those who had once supported him. Jason has expressed remorse, a late but seemingly sincere awakening. The path to redemption is never easy, especially in an industry that is notoriously unforgiving of mistakes. Nevertheless, it is hoped that he can learn from his missteps, find the strength to rebuild his career, and bring his talent back to the spotlight, this time with a more mature heart. 23. Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther warrior who shone brightly and then quietly passed away. Chadwick Boseman, who would later become a global icon through his role as Black Panther, once faced a significant obstacle when he was replaced midstream in the television series All My Children. His character, a young black teenager entangled in violence and family instability, was being developed with several negative stereotypes. In a meeting with the producers, Chadwick didn't hesitate to express his concerns. He spoke gently but firmly. "I think we can do better in portraying this story." His feedback, though sincere, was not well received. A few weeks later, he was informed that his role would be recast. Chadwick left quietly, carrying disappointment but no regrets. This event was not just a lesson, but also reinforced his belief in pursuing art with integrity and responsibility. In the years that followed, Chadwick not only rebounded, but soared to great heights, captivating the world with profound and emotionally resonant performances. From 42 to Black Panther, he demonstrated that the greatest success comes from staying true to oneself. Chadwick's story is an inspiration to all who dare to choose the right path, even in the face of adversity. The stories of black actors being fired during filming reflect the complex and often unfair realities of the entertainment industry. They further highlight the challenges black actors face in a field inherently impacted by inequality. These incidents remind us of the importance of building a more inclusive and equitable work environment within the film industry. By addressing these issues, we can pave the way for a future where actors are valued for their talent and contributions rather than being dismissed due to racial bias. The journeys of these actors, despite facing numerous obstacles, remain a testament to the resilience and perseverance of black performers in a Hollywood that is both glamorous and deeply flawed.